Psychotherapy, the shallow tale of a writer who decided to write about a serial killer, is written and directed by Tolga Karasalik. He wrote and directed this film, and I found out about this from the boys over at the Red Letter Media YouTube channel. They were talking about this quirky, weird little offbeat 90s vibe kind of movie made now. This one is about Kean. He is a writer who's writing a new book that's boring about Neanderthal love story, and he keeps talking about it. He's at a dinner party and his friends are bored, but his wife, she's sick of it. You know, he's been writing this for 4 years. He's written other books, but this one is kind of like he's stuck on it and she's sort of sick of it, so she would like to have a divorce. So he's drinking in a bar and he's upset because the relationship is stagnant. However, he meets Colmick, who says he's a retired serial killer and he can help Kean write a new book, a better one, by giving him sort of the understanding of how a serial killer works. So Kean's not too keen on doing this. However, his wife mistakes Colmick for a marriage counselor. So during the day, they have to have some sessions, and he has to sort of bullshit his way through marriage talks, and then at night, show Kean what it's like to be a serial killer. So this movie does have a sweet cast. I mean, you got John Magaro in the main role, Steve Buscemi as the weird retired serial killer that shows up, and then you got his wife, Susie. The movie starts off pretty interesting because of the whole, thing, but then the movie quickly loses steam because it doesn't know what to do. The first half of this movie is pretty good. You've got these humorous sort of marriage counselor sessions, and then in the afternoon, he has these training sort of learning about serial killer ways. And there's some good world building in this segments, like Colmick likes to listen to a certain song. He tells you like who is your greatest enemy is not the detectives but the autopsy people at the morgue, because they're the ones that say, hey, wait a second, this was not an accident or whatever. And the movie doesn't quite know where it wants to go. Colmick sort of wants to teach Kean how to kidnap people, and it gets wildly out of control. And then it just sort of fizzles out. It kind of feels like a school film, to be honest, with a really good cast. That's not a very nice thing to say, but that's kind of how it felt. The movie just sort of meanders and rambles and doesn't know what it wants to do, and it starts writing itself into a corner, and then it abruptly ends in a really unsatisfying way. So, I mean, John Magaro did produce this film, but I think he's going to have to start stopping doing movies where he's like a sad sack with a cheating wife or a wife that wants to leave him, because he's already done Past Lives in Leroy, Texas, and I'm sensing a common theme here. So he's going to have to get away from that, or he's going to get typecast. But overall, the Psychotherapy is intriguing premise, a good cast, but doesn't really go anywhere or give you anything interesting. It's a quirky, weird little film, but I feel it's really not substantial enough for viewing. So I give it a 4 out of 10.